The prophet Ezekiel occupies an important place in astronomical history, perhaps for the first time. This is because spaceships and interplanetary journeys are what gave his strange, wondrous prophecies a new meaning. Previous generations must have viewed the Book of Ezekiel in the Torah as a kind of symbolism. Ezekiel recorded this book when he was taken prisoner by King Nebuchadnezzar after the demolition of Jerusalem in the year 597 BC. The Book of Ezekiel consists of 48 chapters, which took 22 years to write. Ezekiel says that on July 5, 597, when he was walking on the shore of the Khabur River near Baghdad, he saw something brilliant in the sky, and heard someone asking him to be a prophet to his people, and warn them and warn them. The first chapter of this book was forbidden to Jewish young men and Christian young women, because in this book it talks about the secrets of the Lord's vision. But something strange is narrated by Ezekiel. He says, "A stormy wind came from the north, a great cloud and continuous fire, and around it there was a shine, and from the middle of it was like the appearance of shining copper from the middle of the fire, and from the fire came lightning. Whenever it moved, I heard the sound of its wings like the rushing of many waters, like the sound of an army." These are characteristics that apply to a jet plane or a spaceship. He also says, "And in the middle of it, there is the likeness of 4 animals. They have the likeness of a human being, and each one has 4 faces, and each one has 4 wings, and their legs are straight, and the feet of their feet are like the feet of a calf's feet, and they are shiny, like the look of polished copper, and people appeared under its wings on its 4 sides. If we had shown astronauts in their shiny clothes and metal equipment to some naive shepherds, or some villagers, or some isolated forest people, and asked them to describe what they saw, they would have described the astronauts' clothes as clothes the color of bright water, and they would have described the oxygen tubes as the trunks of elephants. And their legs are the size of elephants' legs as well, and they cannot walk. They must describe these creatures as animals, and it does not occur to anyone that they are people like them who use extremely advanced and complex scientific devices. If these spaceships had appeared to anyone other than Ezekiel 25 centuries ago, he would have said even more amazing things. The prophet Ezekiel said, "As for their wings, they are spread out from above. Each one has 2, one of them connected to his brother, and 2 cover their bodies." He says, "Some of them have the face of a lion, some of them have the face of a bull, and some of them have the face of a human. And this face he is talking about must be what he sees from astronauts. And they wore their helmets." Don't forget that he lived in the 4th century BC. He also says in describing these machines that they were riding. They have wheels the color of emerald. It has a sound like the rustle of air or like thunder, when it approaches and when it is far away. The French scientist François Conin interprets what Ezekiel says as describing a type of very advanced spaceship, because each ship can accommodate 1 person, and at the same time it is medium in size. They can be described as space helicopters, and this is something that the mind cannot imagine when it will be possible to achieve it. The great French scholar also says that Ezekiel was a man of strong nerves, careful observation. This vision, which dazzled and shook him, did not make him forget all these details. It seems that he recorded this book over long periods, and that he revised what he wrote several times, until he ended up with this accurate picture of the first spaceships seen by a human being up close and very clearly. Although St. Francesco of Assisi, in the year 1224, recorded a new vision, the one who saw it did not record it with the same accuracy. But St. Francesco, during his seclusion on Mount Verna, saw an angel with wings, 4 brilliant, dazzling wings. But where does this relate to the cinematic tape that Ezekiel recorded? And no one knew its meaning except in the space age. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah in Palestine were the cities of vice and decadence, and the 2 cities were destroyed. The ancient and sacred books and legends tell us that beings from the sky descended on these 2 cities and destroyed everything. The holy books say that what struck the earth and those on it was a punishment for all, and the astronomical books say that more than 1 person migrated from another planet to this planet. These migrations took place violently. Adam must have been sent down by God from another planet, and this was the beginning of the migrations to Earth. The closest of these planets to the calculations of scientists is Venus, and this migration must have taken place in spaceships. It seems that the sons of Venus were giants, and that they intermarried with the people of Earth, men from them and women from us. As for where these immigrants landed, astronomical studies confirm that they landed in Armenia, in Peru, South America, in Tibet, in Egypt, and in the continent of Atlantis, and the remaining monuments confirm that these giants were tall, ranging between 2.5 meters and a little more. The Torah must have intended that. In the Book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 4, we read, "There were tyrants on earth in those days, and after that also, when, the sons of God, entered into the daughters of men, and they gave birth to them. These are the Titans who from time immemorial have had a name, or in other words, that man has been tyrannical and oppressive, and that a number of the sons of heaven have attacked women, married them, and produced children for them. These are famous Titans. That is, mating took place, and there were offspring. The offspring must have been of strange shapes and sizes. This explains to us what the ancient myths talked about giant people with the bodies of horses. This also explains to us these strange animals that we find in the Karnak temple, and then these unbelievable battles that were recorded in the temple's pharaonic. The oldest example of these wondrous creatures, the Sphinx in Giza. This remained the state of the wondrous sacred animals, terrifying because they are sacred, and sacred because they are a terrible reality, until Akhenaten and his wife Nefertiti came and called for belief in one abstract force that has no human or animal body. As for what the astronauts or the sons of Venus did on this earth, this is what we do not know in detail. It is inevitable that the new alien generations will be guided to some of the secrets of the wondrous universe. There are other secrets that are more amazing and strange. These secrets are magical secret fingerprints that we do not see, but we approach their remaining traces.